Okay, Nick Dutch here yet again, very quickly. Within every school of thought, within every form of education, there's a number of different levels of understanding and reasoning. There must be the most basic, and then there must be the most advanced. Now, the most advanced does not necessarily mean the most simplified, and that's something which I feel we've all got to get clear in our minds. The most advanced means the less simplified. One of the mistakes that I feel, and I could be wrong here, but this is just a personal opinion, I suppose, but I feel it makes sense. One of the biggest mistakes that the New Age movement makes is to try and simplify things. I mean, sometimes it's necessary to do that. We all need a basic background, a basic structure of reasoning, seeing the world, and understanding our place in it. That is essentially good, but the mistake, I feel, is to stop there. When one is simplifying things, then essentially one is using religion to develop a state of feeling of knowledge, or feeling of presence, or feeling of something good happening in our lives. New religions, whether they're new or old, or seemingly old, or apparently or allegedly the one true religion, whatever, is still just religion. Because of that, it is a simplification. Now, if you think about your educational progress, what you were told in your primary school days was slightly different to what you were told in your middle school days, which was slightly different to what you were taught in your secondary school days, which was even more simplified to what you were told in your university days, right? The same is true of spiritual and spirituality things. It is probable that at the lowest level we have religion, which is based upon belief. And at the highest level, we have magic. When I say the highest level, I do not mean the most superior. I mean the most complex. The reason that I feel my views are magical is because they're not based upon belief. I have in previous videos described methodology. And during the time when you're performing that methodology, it is necessary to use a belief. But you will then need to get rid of that belief afterwards, because it is just a fiction which you're using to try and get a specific effect. The magical view of the universe is not anywhere near as simplified as is mentioned in New Age books when it's talking about the energies of different characters or characteristics, or the way that the spiritual energy flows, or what the spirits really are, or what spirit can do and can't do. This is all simplification to the point of becoming either religious or superstitious. The magical view of the universe is more and more and more complex, to the point of stating that more or less nothing is essentially true. Now, when I'm using the phrase nothing is essentially true, I'm not talking about physical laws of nature, which are still apparent but may be breached under certain circumstances. What I'm talking about is the religious and spiritual alleged rules. So again, if you want to consider yourself to be a magician or an occultist, look more closely at the views you got within your spirituality, the views you got within your religious ideology, and to see whether that is simplified or whether there is a more complex way of seeing the world. My point of view would be that if it is based upon religious or a spiritualistic form of reasoning, then that will be by its very nature simplified to the point of becoming religion, and therefore a low level of understanding, rather like your primary or first school, rather than a more complex level of understanding like university degree level or something beyond that. Because the most advanced level of education would be to state that everything that you studied is just models of the world, and what is actually true in the world is probably a little more complex than that. Just a passing thought for today. It is probable that religions may be useful, but religions are, by their very nature, lies. Just as the education you received in primary school was a lie.